Okay, so as you can see, I added my own steps, very similar to what the video talks about, but I just put it in my own wording here. All right, so here's how this is going to work. In order to do these more complex problems that you see on your screen right now, the first thing we want to do is distribute, okay, if we have to. So if you notice, steps 1 and 2, they're kind of separated from the other steps. Steps 1 and 2 are if we have to. It's not always going to happen, okay? So in step 1, we want to distribute, okay? In order to distribute, to recall that, you basically have to have parentheses. If you have parentheses in your equation, you're probably going to distribute, because we do not like parentheses. We want to get rid of them. The next thing we want to do after we get rid of the parentheses is we're going to combine like terms. Okay? So that is something we did in a problem last week, but you're going to see it a lot more often here. Okay? So we're going to combine like terms, and once we do that, we then have to repeat this to both sides of the equal sign. So these two steps we want to do to both sides of the equal sign. So let me note that there. So that's kind of why they're sectioned off. So we're doing this to both sides of equal sign. Okay? So bear with me. Once we get through that, our problem should pretty much turn into what we were doing last week, except for number 3. If we have variables on different sides of the equal sign, we got to get those together. Okay? When that happens, I'll show you how to do that. But for now, let's go through this stuff. Okay? So let's start with number 1. Okay? I'm going to put a line through like we always did, just so I know the left and right side. Okay? So on the left side we have nothing. On the right side we have our x's. So first thing we want to look for is, do I have any parentheses on the right side? And the answer is no. So I do not have to do step 1. Now we go to the second step. Do I have combining like terms? And the answer is yes. Like terms are the same variable on the same side of the equal sign. So since they're on the same side of the equal sign, I can combine these. So what we're going to do is we're going to take positive 2x with positive 2x. So positive 2x and positive 2x, that gives me positive 4x. So if you look at the right side, we are done with step 1 and 2. Now we want to look at the left side. I don't really have to do any of these on the left side. Okay? So we are done with distribute and combining like terms on the left side. Okay, so we just bring down the 0. And now we go to step 3. Are there variables on different sides of the equal sign? And the answer is no. We have just the variable on the right. Therefore, we could go to step 4. We're just going to isolate. And this is where we have to figure out. We want to get the x by itself. But what is the 4 doing? We have to get rid of the 4. And we know that the 4 is multiplying when it's written like that. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. This turns into 0. 0 divided by 4 is 0, equal to x. Alright, so that's how you do number 1. I know it's going through it a lot of stuff, but I'm just trying to show you step by step at this point. Let's jump over to number 2. Put our line in, and we're going to work on both sides of the equal sign doing this stuff. So the first thing I want to do is distribute if I have parentheses. I like to work on the side with the variable. So my variable is over here, and I do not have any parentheses or anything to distribute. So now I go to combine like terms. So looking only on the right side, I'm going to combine these like terms, 1 and negative 3. So numbers without variables are also like terms. So we have positive 1 and negative 3. When I combine them, that gives me p negative 2. Okay, so I just brought down the p, negative 2. So we did step 1 and 2 for the right side, and we have this. Now let's do steps 1 and 2 for the left side. And if you notice, on the left side, there's really nothing for us to do. We're just going to bring down the -1. Okay, so now we go here. Step 3. Do I have variables on opposite sides of the equal sign? And the answer is no. Therefore, I do not have to do step 3. Step 4 says, let's isolate our variable. Our variable's on the right side. We want to get it by itself. That means this 2 has to go away. What's the 2 doing? It's subtracting. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. And we get 1 equal to P. Okay. Hopefully this is not too bad. All right, let's do number 3. So same thing. Distribute combine like terms on each side. So there's no distributing here. There's no distributing here. The only thing we have is like terms, M and M. So positive M, positive M. When we add those together, it's really 2M. Okay, and the reason it's 2M because this is really 1 and 1M. So 1 plus 1 is 2M. All right, bring down the -2 because there's nothing to distribute or combine on the right side. Now we look, do we have variables on both sides? And the answer is no. So step 3 we do not have to do. But step 4 we want to isolate our variable. Our variable's M, which means we have to get rid of this 2. And this 2 is, if you recall, it's multiplying. So the opposite of multiplication is division. And M equals -1. Yeah, what's up?
Can you put the paper down because I can't see the whole thing that you're writing?
Let's see.
You want to do like 2M equal -1? I don't think that's possible.
So can you see the M equal to -1 I wrote or no?
No.
Okay. I can't adjust it on my screen because that's how big my screen is. Is there an adjustment on your screen?
I tried putting it down, but it keeps just not letting me see it.
Okay. So tell me right now in the cursor I have, you see the little finger, right?
Yeah,
Tell me when you can't see it.
I can't see it.
Okay, so you only see right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I can't adjust it on my screen. I don't know if it's just zoomed in on yours, but basically from this step, we just put, we had 2M equal to -2. And then the 2M is multiplying, so we want to get rid of that 2. Okay, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we divided to both sides. And we got M equal to -1. That help a little bit?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Okay guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to do number 4. Okay? And then I'm going to ask somebody to share their answer for number 4. And now to get rid of the 3, it's multiplying, so the opposite of multiplication is division. Okay? And we're left with 9 divided by 3 is 3. Bring down the n. So your answer should have been +3. Okay? I'll let that sink in for a couple seconds, then we got some other problems to do. Alright. We're going to move on. Let me know if you need me to come back to this, I will. But for now, let's move on to the next set of problems, which you're going to notice they're going to have parentheses now. Okay, here's our next set of problems, but we're going to take the same steps. All right, so let's check out number 5. Okay, first thing I want to do is on both sides of the equal sign, let's do distribute if we have to. So if you notice on the left side, we have parentheses, and we do not like parentheses. So we see parentheses, that means we probably have to distribute. So if you remember from Im2, distributing means taking this outside number, in this case it's 3. 3 means multiplication because it's written right next to the parentheses, and we are going to multiply it in to everything in the parentheses. So that's the distributive property. So 3 times 4 gives me 12, and 3 times 3x gives me positive 9x. Okay, equals 48. So I just did step 1. I had to distribute. There is no other parentheses to distribute. Now I check combine like terms. Is there any like terms on the left side to combine? And the answer is no, you cannot combine these. Any like terms on the right side? And no, it's only 48 by itself. So now we move on to step 3. Do I have variables on both sides? And the answer is no. So step 3 we do not have to do. Step 4, we now just isolate. We basically do the stuff we did last week. So I need to isolate the x, which means the 9 and the 12 have to go away. But remember, this 9 here is multiplying. Okay? This 12 here is adding because it has a positive in front. So we want to get rid of addition or subtraction first, unless it's being divided, but it's not. So between the 9 and the 12, I'm getting rid of the 12 because it's adding. The opposite of addition is subtraction, and we do subtraction to both sides. Cancels, and we're left with positive 9 times x equals 36. And now to get rid of multiplication, we are going to divide both sides by 9. And our answer is x equal to 4. All right, let's jump over to number 6. Same approach, guys. It's basically doing the same rules for different problems. So we do have parentheses on the left side. So I'm going to distribute this 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and then the r comes along for the ride. And then 4 times negative 4, negative 16, equals negative 48. So no like terms here, so we don't have to do step 2. No distributing or like terms here, so we're done with step 1 and 2 for both sides. Step 3, we only have one r. There's not r's on opposite sides, so we're good for step 3. Step 4, we do what we did last week. We're going to isolate the variable. So again, we have 2 numbers to move. We have to move the 8, which is multiplying, and we have to move the 16, which is subtracting. And based on the rule from last week, we want to move subtraction first, okay? Unless it's being divided, but it's not. So we're going to move the subtraction first, which is 16. The opposite of subtraction is addition of 16. All right. Bring down the 8r. Sorry, it's 8 times r equal to 32. Negative 32 if you do that math correctly. And now to get rid of multiplication, we divide by 8. R is isolated. Negative 32 divided by 8, you should get negative 4. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you try 7 and 8, and then I'm gonna call on some people to give me those answers, okay? So 7 and 8, I'll give you about 6 minutes, so 3 minutes each. All right, starting now. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit faster now. We have parentheses, so I need to distribute here and here. So multiply that 16n minus 12. Bring down the negative 60. So there's nothing to distribute here or combine like terms here. There's no more combining like terms here. So now we check, do we have variables on both sides? And the answer is no. Now we could just isolate the n. So isolating the n, we got to get rid of the 16 and the 12. So the one we want to get rid of first is the 12 because he's subtracting. The 16 is multiplying, so to get rid of subtraction of 12, we are going to add 12 to both sides. So this turns into negative 48 on the left side equals to 16 times n. And then we are going to divide both sides by 16 to get rid of 16. (48) divided by 16. That's going to give me negative 3 equal to n. Can you guys see that okay, or is it getting cut off again? Okay, cool. All right. And then number 8. Let's go ahead and do number 8.
What was the number for number 7?
Negative 3 is the answer.
Negative 3?
Yes.
Oh. I got negative 12.
Yeah, negative 3. Did you see any mistakes in here for you?
No, it told me that
So
I pulled.
so your work looks like mine?
Yeah, yours look like mine.
Okay, so you added 12 over here,
Yeah.
and you got negative 48?
Oh. I got negative 7 too.
Yeah, so see how the different signs? You're really doing subtraction here. And then the negative is the bigger number, so that's why you keep it as a negative answer. The negative wins.
Isn't that negative 12 on the top, and then because mine is
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. It should be negative 12 here, but to move it to the other side, we got to do the opposite of it.
I'm just gonna put negative instead of positive.
Yeah.
Like wait, they look the same. So what's the problem with that? I saw it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just be careful with that. Cool? All right. Let's go to number 8. What we have to do is distribute here, but this negative, guys, I want you to think of it as I mentioned before, it's not just a negative, it's really a negative 1 here. Okay? So we're really distributing a negative 1. All right? So that's going to give me positive 2b and positive 3 equal to 11. Because negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2b. Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. All right, and now we're going to isolate. Sorry, I forgot to put my line in. We're going to isolate the b. To isolate the b, we got to get rid of the 2 and the 3. So we're going to get rid of the 3 first because of addition. The opposite of addition is subtraction. Two times b equals 8. And then to get rid of the 2, we're going to divide by 2. Okay, we put the answer over here. So it's going to be B equal to 4.